board members that work so hard and come out to so many meetings in between all our other meetings. Barry Dickman is over there. He's our secretary treasurer.
Fabulous.
Sue Anctil, right here.
Here, here.
On our board. George Clark, and then Kim and myself. Unfortunately, we've recently lost a couple of directors, but anyone that's interested in becoming, joining our board of directors, put your name forward. We'd be interested to have you come and join us. We need more people involved in this. We need more people. And Kim, what can I say about Kim? What can I say about Kim? I've never met someone that has worked so hard, so vigorously. Like, she's tireless. She puts me to shame. And cannot thank her enough for all that she does. She fights because she comes from a place where she has seen these rights being taken away from us, and she sees it happening here. And when, you know, when we're told this has happened somewhere else, you got to stop it. Why aren't we listening? Anyhow, Kim, I give the floor to you.
Thank you. Now, I just have one complaint. Half the room has left, you know, and our message really is very important. It's very important because not a lot of people are aware of how fast the French are progressing. They are making great strides because they've got organization behind them, they've got money behind them, they've got politicians behind them, they've got everything behind them, and it's so easy for them to make demands, which they are now making. They're making huge demands, pushing the universities, pushing all the political parties to be on their side, and it's very hard to refute those demands. I have one thing to say about Mayor Watson. He has stood steadfastly against the demands. He has said no, 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 and he has good reasons for saying no. In my printout here, I've given you the various ways in which the French groups are pushing. I've given you examples of where Dr. McGuinty himself says, no, we're not going to make the city of Ottawa officially bilingual because legislation has to be passed at the provincial level, and it's a very contentious issue. So it's not going to happen, but that hasn't stopped the French group. They are still pushing and pushing every chance they get. Now think, for next year is the 400th anniversary of, what is it, Eric?
2017, Canada's birthday.
2017, is it? 400th anniversry of Canada?
150th.
There's something about 400.
150.
No, there's something about 400th anniversary of the French.
1812.
French in Canada or something. Anyway, they're pushing that as the date that they want Ottawa to be made officially bilingual, Ontario to be made officially bilingual, and there's nobody to stop them. Nobody to stop except our little group. And we are so small, you know. Now, it is very gratifying to hear that there are some French people at the top, academic people, who are saying, stop it. Stop, you guys. Stop this French push. You're going too far. You know, and I've given you an example of his name. His name is at the very back here. What's his name? Gilles Paquette. He's a director of research at the Center of Governance, University of Ottawa. He's the only voice coming forward to tell the French groups, stop it. You know, you guys, you know, like you're going too far. You're making everybody against you, which is true. All across Canada now, you find people are not happy about the French push. And I don't mean individual French, okay? Individual French are nice people. It's the people at the very top. The ones who don't seem to know when to stop. And those are the people we have to know about. And those are the people we have to fight against. Not ordinary French-speaking people, no. I mean, I have lovely neighbors. They are not political at all. Most French people are not political. They have no idea what's happening. All they know is, hey, we've got opportunities here, opportunities there. Why are we not taking advantage? And you know those English people? They've got too much. They've got everything on their side, they've got talk, but they don't really. The majority, as we are speaking, we have no power because we're not organized. And we refuse to get organized. That's the important part. We don't seem to want to get organized. You know, individually, in among ourselves, we complain. But we refuse to join any group. Because, you know, without the numbers behind you, it's very hard for politicians to even listen because they're not hearing. You know,
majority behind them.
I know, but the point is, the majority is not organized.
No.
And if you're not organized, you're not recognized. You know what I mean? The French are organized.
Oh, but
they are so bloody organized that they can.
sit around all day doing it. They can
I know that.
themselves to sit around and do it.
I know that, and they've got paid people to spend all day.
And they've got money behind them.
I know that. That's the problem. They've got money behind them. They've got organization behind them, and they are pushing so hard. Holy, you know, I get people, a few people, not a lot, a few people who send me researchers. You know, when I read all the things that are going on, I say to myself, oh my God, you know, this is beyond our reach. You know, this is beyond our ability to fight them. Because you know why? Most people are not bothered. They're not concerned. You know why they're not concerned? They're not directly involved. They're not directly suffering. The only people who are suffering are the people who have jobs. They know there is no future in those jobs, but they don't dare say anything. We have so many people on our mailing list. They say to me, wait till I retire. Then I'll give you a hand. But while they're working, they dare not. They don't even have their names on the distribution list in case they are identified and they're, you know, a department head or usually French anyway, you know, come down on
But
them.
isn't a lot of it have to do with the fact that the head of the union is French?
Yes.
The equal opportunity is French. Everybody you would appeal to is French.
Exactly.
So nobody will hear you.
I know.
So they keep their heads down.
Exactly. This is what has happened. I mean, this has happened over 40 years, okay? It didn't just happen yesterday. It happened over 40 years. And the English-speaking people have been lulled into some kind of comfort zone. I don't know what. But somehow, they don't seem to think it matters to them. It only matters to people who want jobs. So if you're not having to look for a job, you don't really care. Give you an example. We went to visit Dr. Marguerite's residence. You know, she had arranged for Jürgen Wohlrath to speak to the people in there. Now, a small group turned up, but there was one guy who was a retired professor of some sort. And he said, you know what, you guys are talking rubbish. What, we're talking rubbish? Yes, he says there's no discrimination. Official bilingualism is fantastic. You know why? It's good to know two languages. But we're not saying we don't learn languages. The more languages you know, the better, of course. You know, but you don't say only jobs are available to those who speak both languages, because that's the minority. So you're giving job opportunities to this very small group, you know. So people like that, you know, they're just out of this whole thing. They don't care. They don't know what's happening.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. Most of them don't get it. So we can only appeal to people who are aware, you know, like you people. We have to appeal to people who are still working.
All these young parents that are having children today are putting their kids in French schools.
That's the problem.
Schools are closing.
They are
the English have been brainwashed.
Exactly, they have been. Because they say, oh, if we don't send them for French immersion, they won't know French, they won't get jobs. So they send them to French immersion, not knowing that at the end of it, they're not going to be bilingual anymore.
No, it will not be good enough.
They won't be good enough. They never will be good enough. I've had stories on my distribution list of parents who send their children to French immersion, they graduate, they come up perfectly bilingual, but their names,
English.
not French.
Speaking
Mm-mm.
person will
Yes.
start the job.
In the instance of my youngest daughter, the only one of our three daughters that took French immersion, when she dropped it in grade 9, she went from being an average student all her life to being a high honor student for college and university. Just dropping that, having to spend all your time studying this other language and putting it towards what she wanted to study, made a world of difference, and it changed her life. She realized who she was when she freaking stopped having to put so much effort and time into it.
That's the problem. You see, they only learn after they've gone through all. Now, I've got 2 grandchildren. And I know they're going to be sent to French immersion. There's nothing I can do about it. Nothing. You know? So what do we do? I mean, I don't know what to do other than say to ourselves, we're not giving up. We are not giving up. We are going to fight them to the very end.
Maybe we should go to the Board of Education, the Upper Canada District School Board, and see if we can appeal to them to put on a brakes or something.
I don't know. Because as long as there's a demand, there's going to be supply. You know, the education department is going to see, but there are so many people wanting, you know, so I don't know.
I think it's important to keep stressing that the opportunity is there for Canada to separate from Quebec. Just keep saying that.
Yes, now here, yes, I've had many people on the distribution says, let us encourage them to separate. Let us encourage them to get away. But you know what? If you're not involved with this whole situation, if you're just a person looking at the situation, Quebec breaking up is going to destroy the country.
No way.
No.
How many people will say, I mean, not you, maybe, but lots of people say, if you break Quebec up, it's going to be so contentious. The Indians will want to break up away from Quebec. The English-speaking ones want to break away. There will be war. There will be war. Now, if that happens,
is that real or is that rumor? Just to frighten us to accept
I
that the
think it's
minority
real.
is
I think
taking
it's real
over?
because the Indians are not going to go with Quebec.
I think
They
that's a
won't
good thing, Kim. Let's have a war.
Let's have a war. Well,
Another one that we will win.
no,
We're the
We'll
majority,
win that
so
one.
we have more people to fight.
but we're not a united majority.
We will win the war.
Well, we will be if that happens. All of a sudden,
Well,
people get
how
very
many-
united.
Yes, but if you were the government though, if you were the federal government, would you say, let Quebec go? Would you? As a
I'd
politician?
be more
No.
afraid of Saskatchewan or Alberta saying, we're separating.
I know, but they've been saying that for years and years, and there's nothing to bind